On each foot of the southern cassowary rests a single tool that redefines the concept of a claw. This isn't the curved talon of an eagle. It is a dagger. Measuring up to 12 centimeters, or about 5 inches, it's structurally more akin to a blade. The inner core is bone, a direct extension of the toe, but it's sheathed in an exceptionally dense layer of beta-keratin. This is the same family of proteins that makes up reptile scales and bird beaks, but here it's arranged for maximum hardness and sharpness, capable of retaining an edge that requires almost no pressure to break skin. This weapon is delivered by a leg system evolved for explosive power. A cassowary doesn't just peck or scratch, it leaps and kicks, often with both feet. The force is generated from massive leg muscles, allowing it to jump nearly 7 feet straight into the air from a standing start. During a forward kick, the leg moves with such velocity that the claw's tip becomes the focal point of all that energy. It's a classic physics problem of force concentration. Immense pressure applied to a minuscule surface area, resulting in a puncture or a deep laceration that can instantly disembowel an opponent. But what triggers such a devastating attack? It is almost never predatory. The cassowary is a frugivore, a fruit eater. Its weapon is a product of defense, not aggression. An attack is typically the last resort of a cornered animal that feels its escape route is compromised. Ethologists describe a fight or flight distance, and for a cassowary, that boundary is rigidly enforced. Before the kick, there are warnings, a deep, vibrating rumble from its throat, and the raising of its feathers to appear larger. Ignoring these signals is what places humans and other animals, like domestic dogs, in moments of extreme danger. The nature of the defense can be split into 2 categories: territorial and provoked. Territorial attacks are about protecting a resource, be it a food source or a nesting site. The bird perceives an intruder as a competitor and acts to drive it away. Provoked attacks, however, are far more common in human encounters. A 2003 historical study of 150 attacks found that 75% were the result of humans feeding the birds. The cassowary began to associate humans with food and would attack if it wasn't fed, a classic case of habituation leading to conflict. This behavior is why it holds the Guinness World Record title of World's Most Dangerous Bird. But what does that label truly mean? While recorded human fatalities are incredibly rare, the potential for a single strike to be lethal is what earns it this reputation. The last confirmed death in 2019 involved a man in Florida who fell in the bird's enclosure. Compare this to the ostrich, which is larger and faster. An ostrich kick can also be fatal, but it's a blunt force trauma event. The cassowary's weapon is fundamentally different. It is a piercing, slicing trauma. It's the difference between being hit by a hammer and being stabbed by a knife. To understand the origin of this weapon, you have to look back over 75 million years. When you look at the skeleton of a cassowary's foot next to the fossilized foot of a dromaeosaurid, like Velociraptor, the similarity is uncanny. Both possess a hypertrophied, or enlarged, claw on the second toe. For decades, paleontologists believed velociraptors used this sickle claw to slash and disembowel prey. However, newer biomechanical models suggest a different function, one we see mirrored in modern birds of prey. The claw was likely used to pin prey to the ground. It was a grappling hook, not a knife. So where does that leave the cassowary? The cassowary's weapon may represent an evolutionary divergence. While its ancestors may have used the claw for prey restraint, The cassowary's transition to a flightless, fruit-eating lifestyle on an island with large ground predators may have repurposed the tool. The claw's morphology changed subtly over millions of years, straightening from a curve into a dagger. It became less of a hook for holding and more of a spike for stabbing. It's a perfect example of an exaptation, a trait that evolved for one purpose, serving a new one. This ancient grappling hook, no longer needed for hunting, was reforged by natural selection into the ultimate defensive deterrent.
Monotony has grown fast. Nearly 2,700 people have watched in the last few weeks, yet less than 0.03% are subscribed. It would mean a lot if you joined by hitting subscribe. And again, thanks for watching.